Good day to you, officers.
A burly man hangs out by the waterlock, carving up a generous serving of salami with an old hunter's knife. His eyes are fixed on a man stranded on the other side of the waterlock and on an enormous billboard that has fallen down into the canal between them.
My friend Barry the Butcher is stuck on the other side of the waterlock. I'm keeping him company and eating his salami.
From the corner of your eye, you see a man in a yellow shirt and grey overalls waving at you from across the canal. He seems disappointed about the wreckage on the waterlock and the salami.
Very good stuff. Anything I can do for you, officer? I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Weird, huh? Then again, plenty of daredevil drivers in Rivershoal.
The words "daredevil driver" sound ominous to you.
Too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything around here, especially a waterlock. The rest of the coast is closed off till then. Sure thing. Want some too, officer?
Why not?
Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market, a bizarro church. Not much use to the congregation, though. There always seems to be something wrong with it. Yeah, not really. You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags. Others yet try to find something pretty and cool here, then use it to win her back. Yes, buy something nice. This sounds off. You shouldn't trust this guy. Everything you pick out seems faded, chipped, and sad somehow. The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reels. One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says Stereo 8 approved. This is you. Golden orange,
a sunset suite. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Is the Harman Welshie W2, made in Vespa, designed in Seoul, plays all reel-to-reel formats, 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio in there. It'll set you back 12 real. Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech, found sounds and music from a variety of genres. Even though, if police work means playing tapes, sure, you can use it for that. Or
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps. The light pole has been carefully cut, and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. The light buzzes faintly, but persistently. This would make quite a statement in your living room.
if you don't mind, please put the flashlight away. Some of us have photonic sensitivities.
Photonic sensitivity is not generally acknowledged.
I do appreciate it. It's not often that I see officers from the RCM in my pawn shop. What can I do for you?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
I haven't had any problems myself, though some of my customers have complained about inconsistent law enforcement.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travelers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake, people who are terminally bored. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from. It keeps me entertained.
Entertained? He might be high. If he is, on what?
I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have. I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business, bad for everyone. The corpse behind the hostel, I assume. I don't have a truck with a mounted platform or anything of that. Ask around the heart.
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned.
This is a pawn shop, and it did feel as if you've met before. Oh God. The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another, alert.
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia. And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts boat on a mission.
He's not telling you the whole story. It seems he's trying to spare you.
You weren't quiet yourself, officer. You were very distraught. You said the gun was a threat to your life and that you can't trust yourself. When I said that I don't normally buy firearms, you put the gun barrel in your mouth and sort of sucked on it. Then I agreed to take it. 15 real.
The lieutenant looks from you to Roy, and then back to you. It's clear that he hopes this tableau might still turn out to be. This has got to be the most. Wow. There's pity there too, in case you didn't notice.
No apologies necessary, officer. She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just, truth be told, she was terrifying.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it?
Miraculously, his face does not reveal what's happening inside.
You're right that she could cast aspersions on the force. We have to find her.
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it now. You'll just have to hope you luck upon her somehow.
Of course.
Yes? What do you want to know? Ah, yes. The case brief you missed. Now I remember. Three days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. The cadaver had been there for 4 days. No one. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as part of this dispute. A security guard or worker of some sort, hired by Wild Pines. This was just hearsay from Martinez, of course. We need to find out the truth. They didn't identify themselves in any way. The tone was muffled using a device of some sort. The desk could identify neither the caller's age nor sex. There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dock workers' union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that. That's right. I'm afraid you and I are pawns in a pissing competition.
His disdain is clear. This man would not use such an expression otherwise.
You don't know? I assumed you were in on it. That's good. What's there to say? Was there anything else you wanted to know about the case? Good.
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is gone.
This Post Lavantorie mail collection box has been heavily vandalized with graffiti. The box seems happy.
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything. A warehouse? I don't know. Maybe. I don't really care what for it does.
She looks up from under her brow.
Fine. For it doesn't have...
The tear machine stands in the corner. Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the money appears with a satisfying jingle. You're a richer man now.
Not before you get in there and get your ass whooped. Learn by failure, I always say.
He might have some advice, but you got to at least try to fight this head first. Return if you fail.
Honest men and women, with rights, work to be useful, not toys for corporate interests. We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If Union fucks the...
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were given a job to do!
Hola, wandering man. How can I help you? Sure thing, my friend. I can help you out. Oh, sorry, friend. Didn't mean to throw it like that. It's a thing. Right, always glad to help out. We're on the same branch, you and I. Not like these slithering scat.
investigation going? Found any curses yet? That's very good to hear. You'll get to the bottom of this in no time, just like a detective in the stories.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center. This must be the name of the doomed commercial area. The door is closed. There is no answer. A tremendous loneliness comes over you. Everybody in the world is doing something without you. The door is closed. Still no answer. Still nothing. The lieutenant gives you a quick glance. He doesn't like where this is.
another thing. Great. I love those. Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God.
He hates the Union, but grudgingly recognizes its power over him. So he's directing his frustration at you instead. Retaliate.
I don't. I'm simply providing a service, or really facilitating the offering of services to pay.
We should find out who this Lord faction is. We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even men on strike. Good question.
They're probably getting drunk or protesting something somewhere, or laying low after the...
Whatever he may feel about you, he can't miss the opportunity to throw you a look of what he assumes is shared understanding. Go with it.
Yeah, the Union guys think they're untouchable. They probably fucking killed that guy or something, and now think they can hide out till it all blows over, and it's fair weather again in Martinez.
I have a feeling we'll make their acquaintance sooner or later.
Yes?
The pig's getting pretty close to me. Come to snuff my Looks like it's time for me to go, Kuno. Pigs, I'm going away for a long, long time, Kuno. Going away for...
What's going on there? Fuck are you trying to pull, pig?
Stay away from me, pig. You don't want to see what?
Fuck does Kuno care? The fuck about it? Fuck are you talking about? What is this contusion shit?
He says you're stupid, Kuno. They want to make you stupid again.
Oh, did Kuno make your shit sniffing harder? Obstruction of shit sniffing? This is Kuno's kingdom. Kuno fucking rules here. You're testing Kuno.
Get lost,
Right, pig. This is where Kuno plays with his little wooden choo-choo. What do you want with it? Yeah, Kuno doesn't know shit about that. That shit is beneath Kuno. Listen. Kuno doesn't care about this small-time shit. Just listen. Kuno saw what you did there, dumpster diving. Kuno could hook you up with some sweet rags. Shit like Kuno's wearing. Your size, good price. 500 real. Look, Kuno ain't seen shit lying around, except for that up there. Now, you want performance gear or not, Grandpa?
The lieutenant remains silent, but his expression couldn't say, "I told you so," any louder.
Pig, these are found modulars, liquid fit, performance crotch, urban survival shit. Made in Mirova by scientists. Pants scientists. Believe it, you need this shit.
Coach Physical Instrument endorses these pants. They are tartan ready. They will also make you into an idiot.
Alright, Piggo. Shit.
Don't do business with the pig, Kuno. He's gonna steal...
As you can see, Kuno and C don't trust you. Can't do business without trust.
There's more to his distrust than being a pig. He feels threatened by something obscure in you. What that is, however, remains a...
The fuck? A mug in the trash? Is this about the fucking clothes again? Yeah, Kuno sees where this is going. Kuno's got that fast brain. You saying you pigs are after the mug fucker, 'cause he's the clothes fucker?
I can't hear you, Kuno. Speak louder, Kuno.
Shit, that's tense. Someone's going to the beat-down basement, huh? Mug guy gonna get tied to the radiator. Kuno doesn't know who put that shit in there. And if he did, he wouldn't squeal. But if you find out, maybe...
Tell the Kuno who it was. He's curious. He likes putting two and two together here.
Stop turning into a pig, Kuno. They're trying to get you hooked on the snitching. Get away from my Kuno.
Yeah, get your bacon shit away. Kuno doesn't like to be seen with the popo. Get your shit done and out of Kuno's face. Look at that fucking shit. You're trying to get Kuno killed. Fuck does Kuno know? Kuno's not a fucking acrobat.
The lieutenant takes a quick note in his...
It's a trap, Kuno. Don't climb it, Kuno.
Dunno. Kiptas gardener used to work there.
Kipt is a pejorative term used to describe people of South Seminese or Erie...
Yeah, that's what Kuno said. She couldn't handle the heat, so she took off. Kuno can take it. Shit's nothing to Kuno. Look, Kuno doesn't explain shit. Kuno just says shit.
Yeah, her. What was she doing in the greenhouse in March anyway? What kind of gardening is done in March? Yes, it seems suspicious. You don't like things being like that. Suspicious.
That's just some shit roofing gimps left behind, lazy dinks.
There it is. That strange feeling again. As if there was more than meets the eye about that pile of roofing material.
The fucking well! The fuck are you talking about? Ask me a normal question.
They're trying to make you feel stupid, Kuno.
You glance again at the roofing material in front of the shack. Yes.
Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Yeah, the kingdom of Kuno. That's just some shit roofing gimps.
There it is. That strange feeling again. As if there was more than meets the eye. We are way beyond normal already. We are in the Star Chamber.
Are you having a seizure in Kuno's yard now? The fuck are you talking about? Kuno doesn't know what handed...
Trying to get you to talk gimp, Kuno. Don't talk.
In her eye. Fuck are you talking about?
They're trying to make you feel...
You glance again at the roofing material in front of...
Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Kuno does...
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material Eternite. Because it's nice and it reveals no secrets at this time. It's nothing. An inconspicuous.
It's raining again. It was clear just an hour ago. Well, this might be the last snow we get. At least I hope so. Snow has nutrients in it. Helps everything green up in the spring. At least that's what my grandma always told me.
Stop looking at her. Look around. What do you see? That's right. And the canal, the bookstore, the harbour gates. This is a great vantage point for keeping an eye on you.
No, of course not. I don't understand what this is about. The kid did this, right? The red-haired rat? Can't say a sentence without or kipped. He's always giving me trouble. Maybe you shouldn't be. I mean, you do your job, but that kid is beyond help. And he certainly won't help.
You've been resting here for quite a while, haven't you?
Yes, I'm tired.
I understand. The RCM isn't welcome here, and the locals want to keep an eye on us.
There's silence, the smallest of smiles.
That's okay, miss. Do what you have.
Several maps have been attached to a bulletin board hidden inside the alcove. They're held up by small pins. The board has come loose. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Insulinda. The north coast of a verdant island is shattered by the delta of a river. It is the River Esperance. To the east, rolling hillsides, Le Jardin, Coudon. It's somewhere to live. No, it's so small you can't even see it on the map. No, wait. No, this is somewhere to be. This is all.
I'm sorry, officer. The map of Martinez is the only one available. The other two are not for sale anymore. And besides, you could scarcely afford. They're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents, though. That old thing. It's an out-of-date map of a tourist location that never was nor came to be. From when some design studio people tried to spruce the place up 4 or 5 years ago. They also renovated the horse.
The place does not look like a successful tourist trap, does it?
They didn't get that far, for some reason. A shame the project never got going. Would be nice if someone fixed Martinez up. All these ruins are bad for business. Always good to be informed of your surroundings.
This bookstore is not strictly about a small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are
Wonderful board games, sir. The Viticulturist is a classic for sure, or perhaps you'd like Archipelagos of Insulinda, a very educational game for those in Raubritta is a fun game of economic competition, but can get quite intense after.
Who are you going to play board games with? Do you have friends or family? Then don't.
Don't be so hard on yourself, sir. You just need to clean up a bit. And technically, friends are a bit like family. For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilization building game where you build...
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the few...
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? No, and I doubt they'll get back to me before tomorrow morning. And 57...
In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers. It's the legend found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of... Right. What more do you need? A rubber condom stuck to the back. A graffito below the pathetics? Terror. Do not look into its blue heart. An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip. The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. It is similar to the RCM watermark on your blazer the lieutenant mentioned. Didn't he say something about the headlights of his motor carriage?
What? Yes, halogen watermark used for adding information to RCM property. Any capable light with the right wavelength will do. Yes, RCM vehicles have headlights tuned especially to reveal halogen watermarks.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just...
It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, Mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue.
Maybe yours will have how many cases you've solved. How many years you've been on the force, he's thinking.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand. They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." The case files themselves are work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing. It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average. There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages. Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete. The tasks you've completed flow out of the kind green ape pen in a brash freehand similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple. A language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect the victim's body. Get the body down. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place. A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to...
No, actually. Any ideas? Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out. Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes. Two? That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me. That's okay. We all do, sooner or later.
Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense. Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. A title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction and yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Others appear more light-hearted. The guy's on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder it's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
Yes, how very childish of you. In your and my defense, almost everyone in the RCM uses the titular system, in addition to the official alpha. It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it. I pray his love. Rail spiked through the head.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now. It's proving to be harder than expected. You just don't have the intellect. In the back, you see thin, translucent copy of paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out. 3. You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work. A monetary, but they appear. A tool for manipulation. These are quite sinister in tone. They give a date and time for the person to appear. 12 pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. Yes, all that remains now is to fill. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the arson, petty theft. You don't exactly. It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission. Blue. The blue heart. Don't look into it. Something rattles inside, ever so lightly. Is there? Permeables. It's not hidden per se. The compartment is made for permeable materials that would get damaged. The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not see-through. You cannot see to its center. With your hands, you 4-sized pages hang from the clip, screwed to the top of the board. Is not what you end up doing. You squeeze the plastic to slide it open, but nothing happens. Then you bend it some. The ledger quivers in your hand. As it shakes the page, the acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off. It's the ledger you found in the trash, a cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner. Advanced race theory. Everything is...
Promising race pupil returns. And everyone can see that. It has little to do with...
Baby, don't be mean. Give him another chance.
Anything for you, babe.
The minion of law is also a racist, but his racism is basic and round.
So unadvanced.
The basic race education he received in high school has led him to think his finding are the sole authors of race theory. Basic racist, I take pity on you. You clearly want to enter the harbor bad, like a little boy who wants to go on the potty. Very well. You may enter the door once. Our race conversation here has concluded.
Finally. Let's go.
An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly close one of the drawers.
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork lying around like this.
Let's see what's inside. The drawer opens smoothly. Inside is hundreds of documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transactions stand out. Materials, and the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol. Kuro. It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, hundreds of documents, and the same. You already went through all of these.
Whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained...
It appears to be a to-do list, written in large, uneven. Remember, Leo, Everart's shoes. Special whirling borscht. All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled.
Everard Clare, probably. The head of the Debarders Union. One of his aides must have left it. Nothing incriminating here.
The special borscht seems a bit odd in the list. What is so special about this borscht? Code for drugs? Remember, Leo, all items on the drawer slot. Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here. There is a white rectangle clearly visible on its back. This is your cloak. You can feel it.
Yes, it does bear the RCM insignia, and we are the only detectives in Martinez. The service cloak issued to you by your station? Yes, I do.
As your fingers touch the tarpaulin, it almost feels like the cloak wants to deliver a message of comfort. I will shield you from the elements and give my life for yours. This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, "Listen, it's okay to take a few minutes to yourself. Sit down and have a..."
If you must. But please hurry. We are pretty easy to spot up here.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and there's sparse It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man, Rene, is dressed in a Royal Carabinier uniform. The girl, Rene, looks like he's about to smile. This photo must be tied to some good...
Why did you take that picture of Rene? Fine, but let's move. I don't want to be seen.
The chair is not as austere as the rest of the booth. A thin grey pillow is attached to the seat, secured to the stiles by black ribbons. The drawers are empty, save for old timesheets and receipts. One small box, however, does hold some cheap painkillers. They are slightly out of date.
I'm not here to tell you what to do, detective.
You take the painkillers. They are yours now. Oh boy, where to start? Elevated risk of dementia, mini strokes, Prophet's disease, sudden death, hair death, erectile Maybe this was a bad idea. You stand and... adjusting control panel with several knobs. Marsh. On. Arrête.
Container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, container.
The lyrics to this container song are being made up as he goes along. The accent is so thick, it's impossible not to notice he's
Container, container, used to be Wild Pines. Everard, 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 he looks after everyone.
The look in his deep blue eyes is as sincere as you've ever.
I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat. Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister. Oh yes, born and raised in Irish, mister. Mum had to leave my dad after he got a bit violent. Took us here to the new world. I was about 10. People say us...
Thank you for clarifying that, sir.
Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them. They're just waiting to be loaded up. Oh, you want Mr. Everard then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his brother are both nice fellows. They've lived their entire lives in this here neighborhood. Guys like Mr. Everard and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Martinez what it is today. Mr. Everard is where he always is. In his office, of course. Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in. We're on a strike. The whole union.
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Everard sent them on a nice vacation. For a week or so. Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's union business. Him and his boys stirred up something in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Everard telling them to take some time off.
Don't go all bad cop on this simple friendly.
I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had to let out some steam. I don't really know the details. That's just how boys are, you know. I haven't been in a fight since I was in middle school.
Easy, Leo. Let's keep this on the hearties.
Look at him. It's not going to be anything useful anyway. Don't fight it. Better to go with the flow. Too late. Leo's mouth is still moving, and the words are spewing forth. Words. Now he's talking about some drunk sawmill owner who... No, he or...
Bye-bye now. Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo here. Yes, I did. It's like Lady Larice said when she... Sure, mister. Absolutely. I'm always... Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am. So it's easier for the crane operator.
Everything is so pretty and red. You and Leo look like brothers as you glance around with with similar childlike wonder.
Sure is, mister. Sure is. Really livens up the place. Yep.
I had to break this bonding moment, but the red containers mean they are replacing the
Oh, yes, yes. I leave all Oh, yes. I've been taking special whirling borscht to the men every day since the strike started. It's very, very good. Makes a man feel so warm and happy. I feel like I could take on Mr. Renadan's...
Power borscht, huh? Never heard of a borscht that turns little guys into dogfighters. Alcohol, however.
Yes, yes. I'm taking it to them. The borscht keeps them happy and in fighting spirits. Oh, the whirling's cook. He makes it. Them is always talking with Mr. Manana in that weird language and laughing together. He doesn't speak what we speak. He's from Grad. Oh, sure, mister. Sure. You do that. Yes, sir.
Before you is a walrus of a man seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. He simply stares at...
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat. I'm Everard Clare, head of the Debarders Union. I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up. You understand?
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair, on the other hand, looks like a torture device.
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do my best. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals. Take a seat.
It's nothing. Yes, that's probably right. It's...
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another. So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world. It's violating your best.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners, it pains me to say. This should take care of that nonsense. It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with the cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
Hey, that's 25 real. That's good money. Think of all the stuff you could.
Don't mention it, but also don't forget it. I'm just kidding, of course.
He's not.
Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only two words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun. When he said, don't worry, he actually meant be very worried.
Are you all right, Harry? You seem anxious. Don't be. It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be all right.
Officer, we will deal with this later. We don't need Mr. Clare's help with this.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
God, you're sweating. Your knee is jerking. You're about to cry, aren't you? You're about to
Mr. Dubois, you don't look so good.
What is this, Mr. Dubois? He keeps repeating. What is he trying to do here? You need to cool the fuck down. Chill.
Mr. Dubois! Mr. Dubois! Harry! Mr. Dubois, are you okay? Can I get you a glass?
Maybe you could use your hands somehow, in a kind of throw-in motion, like you're throwing that Mr. Dubois act right back at him. He's Mr. Dubois.
What an odd demonstration of... you got me, Harry. I don't even know what. As entertaining as it was, I'm afraid we're wasting our time. And I'm an extremely busy man.
Okay, enough. We are here to ask you some questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
It is about time to stop embarrassing yourself. Questions will help you regain some of your lost dignity.
Oh, that's very nice. I haven't gotten around to her yet. I'm very, very busy, you see. I hope one thing I want to make very clear, Harry, is that this is not some kind of union versus corporation situation. Everyone... Yes, we're all trying to do...
Oh, that's so nice of him. Suspiciously nice.
If she actually wants to see me, she will find a way. Any good negotiator would. And I just don't have anything...
He doesn't want to see her. It's as simple as that.
I'm just a nice guy, Harry. I wouldn't be where I am now if I wasn't nice. Politics is all about
Okay then. Positive emotion.
Of course, Harry. Let me just assure you one more time. It's perfectly okay to share anything we discuss here. I have no interest in what she is doing, but I myself have nothing to hide. Your business is your business, and I respect your privacy. Just remember, tell her about all of it.
It is rather interesting to tell people things about each other, isn't it? It was nice telling him about...
You might have noticed there's one hanging on a tree behind the hostel cafeteria.
Oh my. Don't take this question personally, but why would I get involved in this matter?
Mr. Clare, the man was hanged with a cargo belt. A steel-reinforced cargo belt. It's safe to assume the Union had something to do with the murder. Besides, getting the body down would benefit all of us. It's a stain on the neighborhood.
I can certainly see how having him up there might start affecting some real estate values. But of course, all joking aside, I am going to help you. Jean-Luc, my boy, I'm sending 2 police officers down. They have a dead body in a tree problem they need help with. Namely, they need it to be taken down. And, Jean, please take it easy with the race signs. He's had enough of that. You can find Jean-Luc down at the gates, but you already knew that. Anyway, he's going to help you. Of course. Let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Everard, I call you Harry. My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you? What are the odds of that?
I think the odds of that are very low.
It might be a good idea to hide your confusion. I mean, see what his game is first.
So good to hear that, Harry. Apparently my sources were wrong. However, if you did have a spot of memory trouble, I could help you out. With my big...
Words flow like a river of honey from his lips. I guess word has already reached him. No matter.
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents?
Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? Me and Harry are talking about his lost identity right now.
Don't just jump to the folder. That's not smart. Shows you're on the edge. Do some probing first.
Ah, this? My friends in your organization gave it to me, Harry.
This translates into, haha, you got...
I find that very suspicious. May I have it?
I'm afraid this is meant for Union eyes only, Mr. Kitsuragi. I'm sure you understand. Please continue, Harry.
As you look at the folder, Everard covers it with his hand and pets it.
Okay, Harry, you got me. This is from the Census Bureau, not the RCM. Those Census Bureau people are absolutely corrupt.
He got the name from the Census Bureau, and everything else from your actions here in Martinez.
Yes, Mr. Kitsuragi from the Census Bureau. Like I said, now I'm actually a very busy man, so is there anything else I can do for you?
That means he doesn't really know anything about you. A pity. The mystery of you will have to remain a mystery for the time being.
Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's move on. I don't know what that means, Harry. Shady brew? There are so many moving parts in my operation. You know what?
He sincerely has no idea what you were talking about. And he doesn't care either.
Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I know everything that goes... I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to... But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could...
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines. Incredibly talented at opening doors.
I'm not sure I understand. If you're asking us to break down someone's door, it's not going to happen.
Come now. I just need you to go open a little door for me and leave it unlocked. A simple thing.
An excellent opportunity presents itself, sire. You could win the trust of the arch-liar, pretend to play into his hand. Then, should you wish, bend his efforts towards your own.
Fantastic, my friend. Just let me know when it's done and we can take our friendship to the next level. You can get the key from Manana. He's down by the gates. Manana's like a free agent in the Union. Special operations. Hardened socialist. A real free thinker too. He'll tell you precisely where the door is. One last thing, Harry. Just open the door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door. Yes, your lost gun. My best men are on it. They're turning every stone, searching every playground, asking kids, grandmas. Your gun will be found, Harry. Let me assure you of that. It's just a matter of time.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage.
Yes, thank you for the hot tip regarding your lost gun, Harry. My men have indeed. Now please, let the professionals do their...
It did not come as a surprise to him. He might actually not be bullshitting.
Damn it, Harry. That's exactly what it means. I'm only kidding, of course.
Of course. I understand. We help you, you help us.
Honestly, I didn't want to bring it up, Harry. I heard you have become Measurehead's race pupil. Of course, Harry, of course. You're not some kind of a fantastic racist now. And rest assured, no one's gonna know what you did with race there, Harry. Your race bonanza is safe with me. Word of how racy... Anyway, I assure you, I am a... Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate. Here, you're one of us now. A real red and white Union man. Take care, Harry.
shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air. With a surprisingly quiet thunk, the harbor sleeps as the strike rages in the distance. The crane can rest again, now that its purpose has been fulfilled. Moving this container, of course. For this purpose it was built. For this purpose it...
I can't see how that was worth the wreckers, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
Before you stands a cargo container. Just one of...
You do? Because I don't. There are 1 million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one? You just picked one out because you wanted to interact with a cargo container. We are not here to interact with containers. We are...
You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The door to your left. The lieutenant considers your actions. No reply. Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric? It
Because what wasn't an option? Are you satisfied, detective?
Promising race pupil returns. So it was. My unpromising race pupil entered the harbor and used my superior to give me orders.
You're so noble, Measurehead.
There's a but.
But while I am gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge. That someone needs to be you. Both of you.
This is the uncomfortable result of not taking it on ourselves. I can live with a compromise.
Listen to your little friend. He is wise in his child play. See that they stay here the whole time.
The woman's gaze follows Measurehead as he leaves.
So, you guys are like cops or something? Cool. I like men with guns and power. I'm Katya, by the way.
You hear that? That sound? He's breaking something.
Yeah, Jean-Luc must be really tearing it up over there. I wish I could see it.
Look at you! RCM rent-a-cops! Guarding that bridge like Evron's lapdogs! Is this where it's at now? The RCM is for sale!
And who are you? What is your business here? Why are your clothes 4 sizes too small for you?
The man turns to look behind him at the behemoth appearing around the corner, approaching him, walking past him.
The corpse has been removed from the tree. Stand down and congratulate yourself. You have and what you had to do was to become a Union man for all to see.
So, how'd you like our harbor?
You've been in there, he means. Talked to the boss man too, probably.
It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains. Right. You talk to the boss, eye to eye. Like men of the plain. A key, huh? What door is this key supposed to open? Oh, say no more. I got you. I got that key right here. And let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during the strike. Working class solidarity, as they say. Polar weasel? Oh, I know what you mean. I'm pretty sure he's actually Occidental, though. So you're gonna be committing fraction. What you're looking for is a basement door behind the greenhouse. That's behind the whirling in rags. That's all I know. Our organization is what you call compartmentalized. Means we keep out of each other's business.
Okay, but where did you get the key from?
The janitor gave it to me. Nice fella. We talked about life and things that really, truly matter. None of this mess we're in. This jiving and juggling. What's it for? To feed our children, I guess. I'm more of a philosophical doctor. I like to talk about the big picture stuff. Who I am, who you are, what we are fighting for.
He means he's not going to tell you because he doesn't know. But he will shoot his mouth off with you now that who he is and what they're fighting.
The mercenary, eh? Who could have killed him? That's indeed the question. Why even do such a thing? What a thought! Why would noble workers resort to such a thing? Unless they were pushed, of course. Your dead guy was an enemy combatant. He was an agent of the opposition, attempting to undermine our honorable efforts. I ain't the murdering type, but that's just me. Large organizations like our union...
He's not lying about not doing it himself.
Understood. This has been a...
No problem. I wish the best to you in your search.
Hey. Psst. Psst. Hey. You. Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start... Yes, you're ready to start building communism again. You've built it before. They've built it before. Hasn't really worked out yet. But neither has love. Should we just stop building love, too? So, what about all that communism you've promised to build? Word on the street, you keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impel all people who have more than 20... Funky style. Very funky. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it? Failure. It's about failure. Yes, abject failure. Total, irreversible defeat on all fronts. Absolutely vanquished, beaten, curb-stomped and pissed on. Until you came along. You will reverse the fortune. You alone. Against every living thing. Against every human alive. 800 trillion. You against the atom, the charm and the spin. Where the whole world failed. Matter failed to bend to human will. Human will failed to now get to work, comrade. Oh yeah, get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready. The tear machine stands. Your bottles clunk.
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything. Wow. I didn't know you worked for the union, sir. Anything else I can do?
No, You don't work for the Union. The Union works for you. Blow the whole thing on speed and gin right now. Speed and gin. The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's gently laid on one side.
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy. Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body to the morgue. We are on number 3.
The RCM's 4-phase murder scene processing manual.
The fuck are they on about?
Cop's gonna cut his shit up!
No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain, from autopsy to cleanup to social work, everything. An honor and a burden attached to your rank once you've proven yourself able, usually after 5 to 8 years of field work. Mine is Lieutenant Detective. You are. Your station would not have assigned you on this case if you weren't. Now, the way I see it, it's either this, or we complete the initial interviews. We already met Evrard and Joyce, but didn't quite get Joyce's interview done. For that, we have to ask her about the lynching, not just talk to her. Not much later, I hope. He's about to melt away soon.
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence. The mention of mañana gets his attention. He smiles and delivers a whole slew of unfamiliar their friends. The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his, and then I'm pretty sure he asked you a question. He doesn't know your language. You can just say something cool in return.
Horse need more vodka?
Okay, so it's vodka that keeps the men happy and in good spirits. Clever move by the Union.
Vodka borscht! I love it, Bratan! Turn it the fuck up and then ask for some your...
Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place... He smiles, nodding vigorously, then pours half a bottle of vodka into the pot. With a whistle, he stirs the brew. He smiles and nods enthusiastically and chattering away in his lap. The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friso. From the sides of his head appear because white antlers are one of the symbols of communism. They represent a society and to your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just color. After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, the magazine is divided into several sections. International, this section, you also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling. Face it, you really aren't interested. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds. Comrade, as you know, but like only 4 issues in, and it sounds like they've all... So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective...
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the Debarders Union. Yep.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of content. It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you that Kunst and why they decided to title it evokes a sense of recognition and fellow. As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews. The main feature, though, the Tip-Top Tournée, is an inter-Isolari racing series. This so-called artist spotlight is really just a brief... You think you're... Instead, where to even... So, all of it, basically. Under capitalism, the article says, every pursuit has thus, and that precise. At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real races that you're sure. That's because you haven't been reading.
Ah, come on. Can this article read your mind? Well, there you have it. No reason to get hung up on the pretentious ramblings of a few. If I had to...
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents. Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring unqualified. You skim the headlines. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside Apartments of illegal. According to these editorials, private enterprise is simply a means of organizing labor that would already happen. It goes on to call the Wild Pines a... You flip back to the front of the magazine. An intricate web of blue. It still kind of looks like a map of the state. It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed away mug that you dug? If you want to earn...
back. Good. What can I help you with? That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question. Better not tie the fourth day to the bat's day on this. I hope there...
She wants to answer the question.
Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badges.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57, and this is my colleague from Precinct 41, Detective Dubois. I'm afraid Harry doesn't have his badge at the moment.
Oh, and what happened to yours, Detective?
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? Oh dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I do believe you, naive as that may sound.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm a...
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort. She's a negotiator. Just float a favor at her. Insinuate.
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something very tangible.
You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain.
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The Union controls the terminal, so it goes to reason. The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Perhaps someone with your authority and or you can recover your badge. Though if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may...
Detective, a word in private before we continue. This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective. Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchmen. This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played...
He doesn't let it show, but there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the... Maybe this is all her plan. She might have heard about you.
No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union. Or what I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done and demand for her information on the lynching. I wouldn't go that far. Her reaction did come off as sincere to me. I think she's just quick to adapt. She's a professional, after all. I'm sure you will, Detective.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samaran Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Ingredients for what?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff. Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dockworkers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
The handoff. The motor lorries at the roundabout.
Precisely. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, then perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment. I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share
Uncovering the Union's secrets could also give you an upper hand when dealing with them.
We did, on more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about who's...
We know the company has launched its own probe into the Union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up and...
Well, here's your chance, officers. No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However, this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue. Thousands of liters of raw ingredients will pour on...
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Track and beg them to open the drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a... How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver.
It sounds like she tried looking into it herself, but she's clearly not the type your typical lorryman would confide in.
Yes? Excellent. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully, it may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance. You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare? Of course. He must have his practical uses. How else could he have kept his... He could have kept it with corruption. Fantastic verm.
The RCM does not pick sides in this, madame. I hope it doesn't come off any other way.
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you. How could I stop?
Intellectually speaking, tell her she'll like you for it.
Yes, your disgusting necktie agrees completely. Let's gossip.
Of course, Detective. Should something come up later, until then, is there anything I can help you with? What we do? I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as...
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, and that is the terminal.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the... She enjoys talking about the company. It would not hurt to...
Why, thank you. I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue. 20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It's a tremendous responsibility.
She nods.
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year. We can pick up where we left off tomorrow morning.
The rotting man lies on his side. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Mundi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single, Epui descend to crack the top 20.
There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest you get in there in limited capacity. I'll ask you when I need you to. For the most part, maybe I should handle the contact and you take notes? That's right.
Yeah, we got this. We're smart. The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and all. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with,
"That's you."
The corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The neck
KK57-08.
KK equals Kim Kitsuragi. 57 equals Precinct 57, followed by his date 0803. That's because he doesn't want to bring up the messy question of your initials.
And what would that make the alphanumeric? I do. KK57-0. Next. NA. Next. NA. Roughly 50.
Try 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side. He nods.
Mondial.
Fair to olive-skinned, from the Isola of Muindi. This is as vague as it gets. The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither.
Fucky!
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
Nor does he look male.
We're still going with March 4th, 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as
KK57 0503.
None, at least not after the initial examination. Then again, the right lividity is easy to produce if you know what you're doing. We should start the post-mortem.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red.
Shoot, Looney Rooney. The blue heart. Oh, that's good shit. You'll love it. Just press down fucking hard. Corpo Bodak.
He means force. It'll work.
Come back later, Corpo.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodin, I think. Let's see.
See, it's happening.
Babrodin, yes. Inexpensive. Size M.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more.
The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. They are fused to his skin. The boot has a serial number. It's E50.100. Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night sky. It reaches from the right shoulder. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot, well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
The hair under your latex fingers feels cold to touch, wet. The stench is suffocating. Strands of dark brown hair start sticking to the latex of the glove, like thread of a rag doll.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs, consistent with stones thrown post-mortem.
Fucking low velocity. You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation. Ligature mark. The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below.
See, my pig is gonna fuck.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread. After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow. Snap! The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. Suspension point is in the back of the neck. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The marked chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant.
No! It's gonna happen, see?
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant is trying to make it as boring.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars. too numerous to count, covering a...
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades, dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat duty.
We have a real museum here. Of battles, last item, hands.
His flesh is cold, icy.
Pleased to meet you. Where are you from and what's your name? I'm only fucking with you. I know where you're from. From Cappadocia. And your name is Il Kobo. What can I do you? I did, Kobo. I did. Reminded me of when I was just a small boy. Before this, we should do this more often. Be close like...
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling. I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment. Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next? Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to the...
Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Respiratory system. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. It's hard. Once more, you taste stomach acid in the back of your throat. A contraction. Your throat inside, you see darkness.
There are ancient mysteries down there, Kobo.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus. Hepatobiliary, Na. Same for toxicology and serology, Na. Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy livid. Gastrointestinal.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila. What's next on the list? Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And your opinion, officer? Agreed. Next injury? So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum...
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man, beneath the description of injury.
Right. Next. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned, but it's a start. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over. Well, we established probable cause of death. We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there?
Oh yeah, well done, Master Detective. Maybe a drink?
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg. For processing.
He's thinking, did I miss something? I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something. You run your hands over the victim's cold body, his limbs, his torso with the genitals in his breeches continue to be.
Can't get enough of that dick.
Do you think we missed something?
You can't shake the feeling that there are more secrets.
Okay, well, we are in livor mortis here. He is disintegrating. Hey, wasn't there a giant ice bear sarcophagus below that building? Now, detective, I've rarely been disappointed by the size of a giant ice bear fridge, but I think we should still take a look at it first. Make sure it's big enough before we carry. Let's move. With every hour, whatever we are looking for.
The man is decomposing visibly. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
If you think so, officer, I'm not. I need a little help for carrying him to the holding pen of my kinema. I'll take it from. It's too late to take him into processing today. I'll take him first thing tomorrow.
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. I love those. Yes?
This is the door to the room you redecorate.
Just a moment. We should talk about our progress on the investigation. Let's go out to the back.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then...
Now then, we should talk about the investigation. But I also feel you're a bit hazy on the RCM. Our role here, I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of a ritual.
Oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
I apologize, but I only brought one with me. I have exactly one cigarette every night while going over my notes. Yes, It's been a long and eventful day. Well, we inspected the victim's body, so that's good. It was not easily approachable in that state, but we did it. I would say our initial inspection was very thorough, and we have solid leads to follow up. In addition, we got that body down from the tree, and we performed a field autopsy on the victim. But we still feel like we missed something. Maybe the boys in processing will surprise us. We still have work to do. Now, as for interviews, my list of people to talk to here in Martinez. Very important indeed. Well, we conducted it. He wasn't particularly forthcoming with useful information.
He's not saying much on the matter because he thinks you could have gotten more out of Everard.
Claire also helped you, how should I say, remember your name? That's a relief. Moving on. We tried to interview the White Band's rep, but she asked us to do something for her first. Fine, so be it. I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is. We have to get her to talk to us.
If Kim is emphasizing something this much, it really...
Above all, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard precinct photo?
I have a really good theory about why you're running so fast, son. Just you wait until we get up tomorrow.
It's impressive, especially for a man your age, and in those heads. Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange. They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Ravachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offences, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule. The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We are not really supposed to play any part in the economic structure of Ravachol. We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station closely. It prevents confusion and overcrowding. You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives now, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. It's about power projection. Thus far, they seem to mostly show up. We are permitted to use whatever force we deem necessary, even lethal. You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly, by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone, which is for us. Yes, the last time was 4 years ago.
He says it matter-of-factly and moves on.
The coalition government, and morally, the RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone. Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Ravachol or the coalition government founded the RCM. Be sentimental if you like. Either way, the Moralinton leases us to...
Or if they think...
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting. The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close. And then sleep doesn't come. Obviously, you're in bed with your eyes closed, but it's not happening. Maybe it's the bed's fault. Its synthetic filling has separated into hard lumps. The pillowcase smells oddly. It barely covers your toes, stretching over your soft belly. This is your body. Under your thrumming eyelids, you see a dizzying array of colors. You won't get off this carousel quite so easily. It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it? Something to do with, what was it that the lieutenant said? Union? And it's gone again. Your thoughts lost between the slow, your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your sleep and images start forming.
Of your childhood. You're not kidding anyone, Harry. You don't remember. Do you remember your wife's hand on your face? You know who I am. I'm the bad day. The one where you ask her, and then later in the streets, wandering. It's the reality will turn into a grotesque nightmare. This will be the last thing you did to her. Tell me, do you remember the warmth of her thighs, between her legs and in her mouth? Oh no, funky baby, you stayed. It was the rest of it that left. Or you just stood there, with one hand on the... Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell are... No, it's gone. 3 times gone and never coming back. You failed Elysium. Everything. The pale and the useless. On the surface. The outer... You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people. And you failed every single one of them. You're not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours. Bumping into things and that... You're trying to what? I can't hear you. This is just a word dream now. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone.
So something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad, this dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Oh yes, party boy, and it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you saw. Time to go to work in the shit factory.
Good going, buddy. Oh, just a dream. You have ones like that all the time. You feel even worse this morning. You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It is worrying, isn't it? It's just that your heart has finally pumped all the speed out of your system, Buster. Time to get some. Don't do that. Stay strong. The hangover will wear off. You don't need to keep doing this to yourself. Speed is a potent central nervous system stimulant. It kept you propped up all day yesterday, despite your debilitating hangover. How else did you... You got up from this floor because of a holy vow you made 16 years ago. With me. To wake up exactly 7:30 every morning until the day you... Don't be silly. There was no vow. You were high on speed. That was the only reason you got up. You can't detect without it. It's that simple. Of course, Martinez is Speed Central. You just gotta poke around. You and Speed will be happy again. You will make her come home. This time,